Steven Universe, Steven Universe the movie, Steven Universe Future. After a near 7-year run on Cartoon Network, the trilogy has finally been completed. And make no mistake, these 3 installments do make up a pretty nice trilogy for the Diamond Saga. A coming-of-age tale of self-actualization about a boy who repeatedly puts his life on the line to help everyone. Everyone but himself. It's been a little bit over a week since the conclusion of Steven Universe Future, and aside from a world-ending pandemic, things have been kind of fine, at least on my end, and I hope you all have been doing fine too. But to cut to the chase, despite the emotional, heartfelt conclusion of Steven Universe Future, that really brought everything full circle. I mean, Season 1 kind of picked up at the end of Steven's adjustment period, moving in with the gems, so it only makes sense the last episode would be him moving out. Fans are still clamoring for more. The world craves more Steven, more Garnet, more Amethyst, more Pearl. And when it comes to the future of this franchise, or lack thereof, I feel as if there's a lot of confusion. A lot of people are under the impression that there's absolutely no chance that this series will ever return. The story is over. However, others are under the impression the show will eventually return, or the story will live on through comics or video games, something I've suggested before. However, the dangerous assumption made with both of these claims is that I've seen people on both ends confidently back up both of these notions. The franchise as a whole is objectively over, or the franchise as a whole will objectively continue. But it's not that black and white, so today I want to go through everything we know pertaining to the possibility of more Steven Universe, in any form. So with all that said, let's dive in. So talks of Steven Universe continuing beyond Future actually stems from an event that transpired before the epilogue actually even premiered. After New York Comic Con, Rebecca Sugar partook in multiple Barnes & Noble signings for the Steven Universe book, The Tale of Steven. During one of these Q&A sessions, Sugar was questioned on if Future would be the last animated series, to which she answered if it is the last of the animated series, it still wouldn't be the last time she worked with these characters and world, concluding her answer with a separate thought referencing how she loves comics. It's her passion. It's where she began.
We know now that Steven Universe is ending with the Future series. Are there any plans to continue telling stories in this world after the last episode of Future? This is a really great question. I love this world and I love these characters, and even if they may not continue in the form of a television show, I definitely am not done with this world and these characters.
Which alluded to the possibility of Steven Universe continuing in comics down the road, but a lot of people ran with this as an objective fact. Not that this would be a possibility, but something that's already in the works, they already put money behind it, so this offhand comment evolved into a rumor. One that Rebecca Sugar actually addressed on social media days before the final 4 episodes of Future released, stating, "There's a rumor that Steven Universe will continue as comics, and that I will be involved in upcoming Steven Universe comics." This is not true. If any comic claims to be a canon continuation of the Steven Universe story or world, please know that it was not developed or approved by the show team or by me. Fans then took Sugar's statement as de-confirmation for a comic ever existing. There will never be a Steven Universe continuation through comics. It was a rumor and nothing more. But I'm not exactly sure if that's what Sugar was trying to convey here. You see, there's a huge reason why fans believe Steven Universe has very good odds in continuing in some way, shape, or form. That factor is a little cartoon we like to call Adventure Time. Obviously, the familial bonds between Steven Universe and Adventure Time cannot be understated. After Adventure Time concluded, multiple short-lived comics were announced, they ran their course, and a year after Adventure Time concluded, its sequel series comprising of 4 specials, Distant Lands, was announced. By the way, we will break down that new, very short teaser. However, as far as I know, the Adventure Time comics were not canon, although they took place after the finale. There was little to no involvement from the show's creative team. It's effectively non-canon. I think with this tweet, Sugar's not saying there will never be any more Steven Universe period, because Cartoon Network owns the IP and the characters, but rather, if there is a new run of Steven Universe comics that take place after the finale, at this point in time, unless she states otherwise, Sugar and the crew would not be involved and likely wouldn't even have been aware of its existence. So I believe Sugar is just setting the record straight there. If any comics come out and it claims to be a continuation of Steven Universe, and there's not a peep from Sugar in relation to the comic, then it's simply not canon. I think it also shows that there are no plans at the time. And straight up, the comic industry has been struggling for quite a bit. Considering I haven't heard much about new Cartoon Network comics in general, I'm going to make the assumption that they're going to chill on those. Though I would argue, much like Gravity Falls Lost Legends, Steven Universe can get a canon one-off graphic novel, but that's just my own speculation. If you're wondering if there are any actual plans, I think we need to turn to one of Sugar's post-finale interviews with TV Line, which kind of reveals that right now, she has the same plan as Steven, figuring out what's next for herself and taking advantage of her newfound freedom. Sugar began working at Cartoon Network in 2009. That's nearly a decade straight of her life, briefly dedicated to Adventure Time, and then shifting over fully into Steven Universe, which entailed not just the main series, but developing the movie and future at the exact same time. Considering the turnaround, holy shit. In this interview, Sugar has asked a few questions, but only focus on two for right now, as those are the ones that give us the most closure and play into this topic. One, how will Beach City change without Steven in it? To which Sugar states, there's no way he won't be back to visit often. It'll be waiting for him. It will always be his hometown, and when he comes back, he'll find it'll be the same in all the best ways. And two, is this a character in a world you imagine revisiting someday? To which Sugar stated, I love these characters and this world, and I have theories about the timelines that follow future. But I want to give the characters some time and some privacy, at least for a while. I need a little of that too. In a separate interview with Vulture, when questioned on what's the next move, how does it feel finally saying goodbye to the show? Sugar states, I think it's going to hit me like a tidal wave. I've been trying to set things up for myself, lessons that I want to take, a stack of books that I want to read. I'm hoping to refill my well and reconnect with the world, absorb instead of produce. I say that now, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know how to process what I'm going through if I'm not creating something. I'll probably be working again sooner than I think I will. But I want to take a little time to reflect on what this has been. I've changed a lot, I've grown up a lot. I want to see where my head is at now. Essentially, with all of those interviews, I just want to spread the word that Rebecca Sugar is taking time for herself. That's what her plan is right now. That's what the next move is. Steven Universe Future was left open-ended, and I feel like that was intentional. The Diamond Saga, that trilogy, it's complete. Future didn't go into an epic new story, but rather tie up the loose ends, and I feel like that's in part because now Sugar can take time for herself and just really think, and gain some new life experience. She is burnt out, much like how Steven was. And now that the series is left in a place where it could continue, but it's fine capping everything off where it is, she'll be able to do what she needs. Afterwards, who knows? I think in terms of business, Steven Universe will always be a guaranteed success, but now the name Rebecca Sugar is a powerful one. And where she goes next may not even be Cartoon Network. Should Sugar not return to Cartoon Network, she wouldn't have a choice but to make a brand new series, and I don't think that would necessarily be a bad thing. Granted, with HBO Max, it's a brand new ballpark. Obviously, if Steven Universe ever does return, it will be a very different show by nature, but I'm going to make what could be a foolish assumption that content on HBO Max is liberated from most of the bullshit that made Steven Universe an uphill battle. Seriously, we were all able to consume and watch and have fun, and of course the show has its critics, but getting the show to where it became, it was a result of Sugar and her team fighting for their beliefs to be recognized. But I'll be honest, a part of me strongly believes that Steven Universe has not pulled out all the stops yet, that there is a very particular scenario that Sugar is saving up her sleeve for if the show ever does return. The Diamond Saga of Steven Universe can be to the franchise what Dragon Ball is to the Dragon Ball franchise. It's the beginning, it has a completed story, it has the main character age up for the last leg of it, but it has Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. While I hope Steven never gets a GT, I think a Dragon Ball Z could very well await us in the future. So, will Steven Universe ever return? Again, with the current landscape and how everything's shifting around and changing, I think it'll always be a strong possibility, but the stars really have to be aligned. Rebecca Sugar has not given up on this world or the characters, she's just giving them a little privacy, and that privacy can be for as long as they need. But with just that statement, well, I feel like a lot of animated showrunners say the same thing in their own words, that essentially they can always revisit this world whenever they want. Alex Hirsch said that about Gravity Falls, and now he's at Netflix. I do feel like Rebecca's wording more than anything is meant to give a sense of hope without creating expectations, which I hope this video did as well. Yeah, maybe one day we will get more adventures with Steven and the Crystal Gems. Maybe we never will, but it's okay. Future, especially its final episodes, is all about moving on and letting go even when you don't want to, even when you feel like you're not ready, or when you feel like things should be a bit more emotional. It's okay. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Do you even want to see more Steven Universe? Yes, no, maybe so? The series will always live on, and if you're wondering what's next for the show now that Steven Universe is over, after kind of having it on a pedestal for so long, I mean, I'm gonna talk about other shows, old and new. I'm personally really excited. I'm still going to talk about Steven Universe. If you're here for Steven Universe content, that's not going anywhere. Obviously, it won't be as frequent, but I hope you stick around for our other content, especially because you might find a brand new favorite show along the way, which I want to talk about soon. Out of all the current, long-running, story-driven cartoons, that's right, they exist, which one will become top dog? Only time will tell. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at awhile. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Awhile, signing out.